If this gets to someone who, like me, for 20 years struggled with insomnia, and you hear this and go and start doing it and it fixes you, I have never known anything to have such a dramatic change on my life than this. Get up in the morning at the same time and wake up, don't look at your phone, don't do anything, just get out of bed and go straight outside. And sit outside in the sunshine or go for a small walk. And you want to stay outside for long enough that you get a 100,000 lux of light into your eyeballs. Get all those photons into your eyeballs. Once you hit that, do that every single day, you will just start falling asleep 14 hours later. That's it. The moment your brain registers that 100,000 lux, it sets your internal circadian rhythm, and a clock timer starts counting down. And 14 hours from that point, you'll go dun 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 dun, and you just feel sleepy. I don't tend to go to sleep at that immediate point, but I know now, I'm like, wow, I feel like my eyes feel heavy. Never had it in my life. Never, ever had that feeling. Outside of like some sort of physical exhaustion. Like, you know, like the type of feeling when you've just got home from a long trip, like you have to get 2 planes and then a bus, or, you know, and you have to stay awake for the whole thing, and you're just like forcibly awake and you're actually exhausted, and you end up that feeling of like just, you collapse into a bed and fall asleep. It's very hard to replicate sometimes, even though you might try and physically replicate it by exhausting yourself with exercise or something. It doesn't always work.
I'd like something to eat.
Oh, I thought I only had two coins left then.
You'll like it here.
God
be with you.
And yeah, without that, like that, I noticed within a week, and then I was already falling asleep without, and I was still experimenting with all of the different drugs I was taking and supplements. When I first started doing the sunlight shit, and I couldn't believe it. It feels still to me like witchcraft. It honestly it feels like I went to a witch and she cast an enchantment on me. And I just do not know how to describe it. And then I compounded that with valerian root, chamomile tea, magnesium, theanine, and then mirtazapine came a little while later on, and figured out which ones work when. For me, again, I don't know how your body works. People have different resistances and shit. And I think by far the strongest element was just militantly setting that internal clock to get up and immediately go and seek sunlight. And I've never had anything like it. I can't believe it works. Wild, man. But I'll tell you some other stuff if you're interested. Are you interested, or am I boring? Because I feel like I've spoken about this quite a lot. I really sat and learned a lot of stuff at the end of last year about sleep, because I was freaking out. I was about to kill myself. It was like fix my sleep schedule or die. And I fixed my sleep schedule. And I really worked it out. And really figured it out. And it felt like I was holding a gun to myself every day, kinda. I swang. Huberman, yeah, I'll link you the podcast right now, chat. I didn't just make this up. This was a thing that I got from a podcast that I started watching. The Andrew Huberman podcast. And he's got a lot of interesting stuff in there. There's some good stuff about fighting anxiety with cold baths. There's more to this than sunlight. There's heat as well, but I don't really do the heat stuff because I don't need it. It works fine just on the sunlight thing. But if you are struggling with sleep, or you've had long-term Insomnia or something, then this is the episode you need to watch. It's episode 2 of the Andrew Huberman Lab podcast. And I would recommend watching episode 3 as well. And just listen to what he says. It's a study. You have to study this shit. And then I went on a trip of just figuring out all of the different supplements and how they worked for me. And I'm telling you, dude, I'm an expert on it now. It's something that I honestly feel like I understand really well. I looked up a load of clinical shit. The reason that mirtazapine makes you fat, by the way, Kratoshka, mirtazapine, and it should have worn off by now. You said in a month. A side effect of mirtazapine is it makes you crave carbohydrates, and I felt that so strongly. If you ever put on mirtazapine as an antidepressant, you have this increased need. You're like a zombie for brains with carbohydrates for about a month. I also put on weight because I just couldn't stop eating carbohydrates. I just wanted more and more carbs, crisps and bread and pizzas and shit, just constantly eating carbs. Like, there was no bottomless pit. It's fucked me up, to be honest, because I've stretched my stomach and now I eat more and I'm just fat because of that. But that's it's specifically carbs that mirtazapine gives you the need for. I've lost 3 stone on sertraline. No idea why. Which one's sertraline? That's one that I have a list of I narrowed mine down. The ones that don't affect sleep. I sat for a week and did all this. Wellbutrin will affect sleep. It's the second best one to not affect sleep. Mirtazapine is called Remeron in the US, by the way. And is the best one for not affecting. Well, it does affect sleep, but it will cure insomnia. So it will actually cause you to feel sleepy. So you take it at night, and it will depend. If you have a high dosage of it, apparently it doesn't work. Called Remeron. There's vilazodone that will fuck up your sleep. Trentelix will fuck up your sleep. Citalopram won't fuck up your sleep, but the side effects of citalopram are awful. You'll get fat. You'll not be able to come. You'll not be able to. You just won't have any sex drive. You won't have. There's another. What was the other side effect of citalopram that was just pissing me off, man? The serotonin uptake inhibitors, I don't like at all. They fuck with my mood. They make me feel fuzzy-brained. I felt so fuzzy-brained on citalopram, and it comes and goes in waves. But it is effective. It absolutely made me feel better. I definitely had an improved mood on it. But I think the way my brain works. I mean, this is completely tailored to you. I would not trust anything I say on this. And the supplements, again, you got to go and figure this shit out for yourself. I'm just giving you what worked for me. I don't know what your body does, especially this shit. I would do a bunch. I looked up a shit ton of studies. I was in the fucking scientific literature every night, not looking, because you can Google it, but you usually get the answers of like an article that's been written. And a lot of those articles are just written by people who have read the scientific literature but want to make it sound like something you want to click on. I was sitting there reading these studies on these different things because it's fucking scary. Because I was switching from citalopram to something else. I wanted to be off of citalopram. I hated it. And I was like, and that's fucking, it's scary because you have to go through that horrible period of being off of a drug that's been helping you to not fucking go crazy or whatever, and also you have to try a new one, which is very scary as well because you don't know how it's going to affect you and you don't know how long it's going to take to kick in and all that stuff. That period when you're feeling kind of manic, which was where I was at the end of last year, I was pretty fucking insane. That limbo period is very scary, and I didn't want to miss I wanted to fucking bullseye whatever the fuck I got. I prescribed myself mirtazapine, by the way. I wanted to get that fucking correct because I knew that if I didn't, I would be at extreme risk to myself. Honestly, I was like, if I fuck this up and I go on something that takes too long to fuck me and I just feel worse on it than I did on citalopram, I'm done. I'm going to check out. So in my moments of lucidity, I was reading a load of shit about this stuff, so I looked up a bunch of them. Venlafaxine. I don't know all of the American ones. I did look up all the different American names for them as well, so that I knew, just in because I prepared myself with my doctor. I wanted to provide my doctor with a thesis, so that when he said to me, "Oh, what about Vibrid?" which is an American name for vilazodone, I could go, no, because this, and this. And I have all these fucking notes on my phone for all the different medications. So the only ones that I ended up really looking into were the ones that had side effects that didn't affect sleep as much, which was Wellbutrin, mirtazapine, which is Remeron, vilazodone, which is Vibrid, which looks like a Welsh word, Viibryd, and vortioxetine, which is Trintellix. Vibrid, I don't even have notes next to it. It just says no. So I don't know what that means. That one clearly, I was like, okay, that one's going to fuck with my sleep too bad. Trintellix has no, but then I have linked myself a Google study here. No, I haven't. I've linked myself a Google link to a study here. I think Trintellix fucks with sexual production, and I was like, I don't want that. I'm going to be single. I don't know if I want that to be fucked with. Wellbutrin was my second best bet, but that one can fuck with your sleep in different ways for different people, and I didn't want to run that risk. And mirtazapine had the side effect of it being an insomnia cure. And I was really like, that sounds perfect. That sounds really good. The only side effect that I think, if you're upset about weight and you want one that is not going to affect your weight loss and stuff, I wouldn't necessarily suggest mirtazapine because you become fucking so insane for carbs. You can't even stop it. You're not in control. You're like, I'm eating another bag of crisps and I'm eating something else. And you're like, I can't even believe how much of this I'm eating and I still feel hungry, which I did get on citalopram a bit as well. Citalopram just, I think if I remember correctly, citalopram makes it difficult to burn off weight. So you retain more food calorie stuff, whatever the fuck. I don't know this side of it too much. I think it's like you don't lose weight while on it in the way that you would. Whereas mirtazapine, your intake of carbohydrates goes up because you're hungry all the time. So if you just don't eat carbs, like if you're mentally strong enough to just sit there and fight the medication telling you to eat carbs for about a month, it goes away. I don't have that anymore. It literally was about a month of pretty much every day I was very hungry. I ate a lot in that month. It was November to the beginning of December, I think, somewhere in there. I just was on carb intake and I got really fucking, like, I'm kind of pudgy at the moment. And I know everyone's like, oh, Brad, you're not fat. But I am, for me as well, like quite pudgy at the moment. I've got like weird body weight on me that I just am like, how the fuck do I shift this? I've literally never been this fat before. And it was just a carb intake thing. But it doesn't stop you from losing the weight either. It might do a little bit. I'm not really sure how the brain chemistry works. Venlafaxine is not on my list though, so clearly that's one that fucks with sleep, so I didn't even look into it. Or maybe it just didn't come up. There are some that aren't available in my country and I don't think I even looked those up. I think I could fight it if I were aware that it was making me want carbs. Yeah, but it's a bit like being thirsty in a desert and you have access to water. is the difference. It's like you really have to fight it. Like I couldn't believe that I found myself just eating again. It was a bit like being a drug addict again. I was just like, wow, I'm taking more of it. It's a very weird, because it's your brain chemistry shifting. So you're not really you for a bit there. You're this other version of you that is eating carbs today because you want to, and there's no reason not to. If that makes sense. You're kind of in an altered state. Let me just quick. I know some of you are very bored with this. Give me a second. I'm going to go and grab some of the things because I'll tell you a couple of other supplements and then I'll shut up for the rest of the day and you can go away and figure out your own shit. Look at this. This is everything in my nightstand now. I think. Might be something in the other one. It's crazy how much shit I've got. But I don't use any of it anymore, but I did for a bit because I was experimenting. Okay, so this is just Zopiclone. It's got my address on it, so don't show it badly. Well done. Zopiclone is a prescribed medicine that they gave me because I hadn't slept for so long. And I called them up and I was like, if I don't sleep, I'm going to fucking kill myself. And they went, yeah, absolutely, have some. Now, my doctors, now again, I'm in the UK, we have NHS. It's different. And again, prescribed shit. What you've got going on in your head, you might have fucking schizoaffective disorder, you might have ADHD, you might have insomnia, you might have insomnia because of anxiety or depression. I don't know, man. I would not trust me or listen to what I have to say on any prescribed shit. Because I've been on citalopram, but I've been on other stuff. Mirtazapine has been great for me. But I fucking don't go to a doctor and be like, hey, I listened to this streamer and he was like, he said mirtazapine worked for him, so I want some. And it's just like, it could be the worst thing ever for you. So either do your research or just listen to a doctor. Don't fucking listen to me, especially on prescribed shit. Supplements, I think you can, these supplements that I'm about to mention, you can probably fuck with. They're not very strong, but I'll tell you how they affected me and how I helped or didn't help or whatever. Mirtazapine was one of the last things that I ended up on, and mostly I'm on it because it's an antidepressant. I just need a little helping hand with some serotonin in the day. I think my brain just produces a little under the recommended amount of serotonin to be able to function and not feel just in a low mood all the time. And that low mood, if I start out my day and I try and go through my day in that low mood, by the end of the day, I hate it. It's just so, everything sucked. And it's difficult to live perpetually in a low mood. And I think my brain, say your brain has to produce 20 pieces of serotonin. I honestly think my brain only produces 19, you know? And I just need something just to give me that extra one. And I'm on a very low dose of, of the mirtazapine. And I even take less than the amount they recommended to me. And I went to my doctor and said, listen, I've researched a shit ton of these things and I've been on different drugs forever, and just look at my rap sheet. And he pulled up my fucking stuff on the computer, obviously. And I went, can I try mirtazapine? And he went, I just told him a load of shit. And he went, you sound like you know what you're talking about. And gave them to me. Again, my doctor is crazy good. And these are different doctors, but because, so my thing that they pull up, they look at it and they go, what do you need, bro? Because I've got fucking manic episodes on there. As soon as you have some manic episodes, baby, they give you what you need. Or they lock you up. And I'm like, hey, do you want to have to lock me up? No. Try me on some mirtazapine, please. Horrible. And maybe a bit revealing, TMI or something. But... yeah, so but that's the NHS in the UK, and they're actually quite good. And it's horrible how that, politics. Anyway, so Zopiclone again. So don't listen to me about what you need on shit like that, because I really know my brain very well. And if you don't just assume that what works for me will work for you. It really just isn't the case. Some people get colder than others, so don't stand around being like, oh, "You're cold? I'm not even cold." Go fuck yourself. People are different, your bodies are different, your biochemistry is different, and stuff may work and may not. But I will tell you, I went through the fucking ringer, and I've had a lot of experience over my life with different antidepressants, and I've had insomnia since I was like 14, 15, really struggled to sleep pretty much my entire life. And I've tried loads of different, I used to be a drug addict, I've been stoned, still didn't fall asleep, everything. I've done so many different things. And so many different things have had different effects. And I really think I solved it at the end of last year. I feel like I closed a 20-year case, like a murder investigation. And I figured some shit out for me. And this is what I did. Now, I told you the sunlight part. Do the Huberman sunlight shit. That's fucking by far one of the most effective things I've had. Just fixing my body clock and regulating that. And you have to figure that one out for yourself as well. Go and do it. See what happens. Great. That was the first thing I did. And mirtazapine has properties that help me with insomnia as well. That's another thing. But it came after this part here. Now, they gave me some Zopiclone. Zopiclone is just a sleeping pill. You take one or two of these. These are 3.7 milligram tablets. I took 2 of those. You're supposed to take 1. I took 2. And I fell asleep. When I was freaking out, and this was like way back when... This was back when the weekend of our breakup, and I was losing. My brain went into a triggered PTSD flashback, fucking Vietnam meltdown, and I went fucking insane, and I could not sleep. I didn't go to sleep for like 3 days. At the end of it, I ended up taking like 4 of these, I think. So what's 4 times 3.75 milligrams? I think that's what it took eventually. So still not the... It doesn't sound like a lot, but this stuff is really fucking strong. You gotta, and it fucking put me down only for a couple of hours. And that was pretty good. Or maybe I took 6 of these, but I don't actually know if they were 3.75. I'd have to ask Mergs and PB, because they were on the call being like, he's gonna die. He's gonna have a heart attack. But it wasn't too bad. But now that I'm out of that extreme level, one of these, I took one the last time I felt very nervous about something. I took one of these Zopiclones, 3.75 milligrams, and I slept fucking like the dead. It's like if you've ever had an operation. When you sleep a normal night's sleep, even if you have a lot of supplements, you wake up the next day and you're like, oh man, I had some sleep. And then there are times where if you've ever passed out, or if you've had an operation where you get anesthetized and you go into an anesthetic and then you wake up and it feels like you've had a time skip. It feels like you jumped forward in the world, and it doesn't feel like a sleep has happened. You just feel really weird and it feels a bit dissociative. That's what it feels like coming out of a sleep from one of those. But Zopiclone for me is very effective, but it's an over-the-counter thing. The first thing I tried out of all of this stuff was Nitol. In the UK, it's called. And these are herbal sleep remedies. This is just valerian root extract. It's 385 milligrams of valerian root extract. And it wasn't anywhere near effective enough, and I threw it the fuck away. We'll come back to valerian root in a minute. The second thing I tried was this thing called Hypnozan, which is a thing I found on Amazon. Just Google Hypnozan, Hypnozan. In this is a concoction of death. It has 5 HTP in it. It has 100 milligrams of Montmorency cherry extract. It has 60 milligrams of lemon balm leaf extract. 50 milligrams of tryptophan, which is the only thing in there that I think matters. 1 milligram of vitamin B6. And 2.5 UIG. It's the UI symbol, but also with a G on the end, so I don't know what that one is. Of B12. Now, the thing that matters in this is the tryptophan. Tryptophan is in some food as well that you can get. It might be turkey, I think, but Google that. So the 50 milligrams of tryptophan is I know, I'm sorry, Graph. We got into this and I figured, fuck it, I'll go in deep and explain it to you. And then someone remember where this happened in the game. So that the next time someone asks, they just go to 2 hours 44 in this VOD. And that's when I explain how to heal your sleep. Now the tryptophan is the thing. It's in most proteins, but I think there's a lot. It is turkey. Okay, so it was turkey. I'm going back a couple of months in my memory in my studies here. Now, this shit, tryptophan, again, this is my experience. If you struggle to fall asleep, not stay asleep, I struggle to fall asleep like really badly and struggle to stay asleep a lot. So, but if your only issue is falling asleep, this shit is wicked for it. Tryptophan makes me... I took one of these half an hour before I fell asleep. And I fell asleep. But it kept me down for about an hour. And then I'd wake all the way back up again. And it was as if I hadn't taken anything. But if you struggle to just do the bit where you have to get over that hump of falling asleep, and if anyone has this struggle, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's like a fight almost, where you're trying to stay calm and relaxed and fall asleep, but you're unable to, and it gets progressively it's like a tug of war in your brain of trying to get to fucking sleep. And I really hate that feeling. And I really, it's the hardest battle was the falling asleep part. This was wicked for it. I actually really rated it. And the element in there that is probably the most effective is the 50 milligrams of tryptophan, but this has 5 HTP in it. If you remember back in the day, I was taking 5 HTP as a mood enhancer. It's good for serotonin, which I assume is the reason it's in this. Mirtazapine giving you a bomb of serotonin suddenly is like a serotonin pill, not an uptake inhibitor. It's different. Is the reason you feel sleepy, because serotonin will make you feel sleepy even though you feel happy and relaxed. So I assume the 5 HTP and the tryptophan is the reason this works. But this is personal anecdotal experience and not medical or prescriptive advice. But, and I keep saying that. But for me, that was what I found very effective for that falling asleep thing. And again, these are supplements now, so these shouldn't fuck you up too badly. You take the dose that's on the fucking thing. Don't fuck around with it. Don't try and double it or anything like that. It just says 1 capsule. But I mean, these are supplements. The worst that's really going to happen with supplements, unless you're very, whatever, is you're just going to make yourself sick. And it will just make you feel worse. I don't recommend fucking around with the dosage or anything like that. But again, these are supplements. This is called Hypnozan. That was the actual bottle. It was just on Amazon. But what I was looking for was the tryptophan. Tryptophan. And that was 50 milligrams of tryptophan. And then it just says 5 HTP source. So I don't know how much is actually in it. I think I Googled it and found out, but I don't remember now. So that was pretty good for like helping me fall asleep. But since then, I haven't taken this. I actually don't need this at all anymore. And I have not taken one of these for a long time, like for ages, because this is useless to me now. Because I think that the other stuff that I've found was more effective. So the next thing that I don't use is L-theanine. And the amount of this to take is as close to 100 to 300 milligrams of this. This is 150 milligrams in this pack, this bottle that I've got. So I would take 2 of these. And this is L-theanine with sun-theanine. Don't know what sun-theanine is, didn't care. And I took 2 of these. Now, these are good for both. This puts me down and helps me stay asleep. I would take 2 of these before bed. Again, this is before I was on mirtazapine and before I was really doing the sun stuff. This was right at the beginning because this one I found through Huberman. And I took this one for a few nights and it worked. I don't know what the fuck L-theanine even is, but Huberman explained it to me, and he's an actual science dude. Whatever this is legitimately helped me to sleep really well. However, my dreams were so vivid, it was crazy. And my dreams are 50% of the time horrendous nightmares, which meant that my nightmares were very vivid. And I woke up from sleeping on L-theanine that week or so, where sometimes I woke up and I could remember my dreams and they were very intense, like just realistic and intense, even though they weren't scary, they were just very intense. But the nightmares were not worth it. Not worth it at all, man. I woke up from some of those sleeps just, you know when you carry a nightmare into the day and you just like, you feel unsettled and scared and shitty and just worried, and dude, I felt like shit because I carried this nightmare energy into the day. And I have really bad nightmares sometimes. One of the reasons I'm afraid of horses is because as a kid I used to have extremely vivid nightmares of horses. They're not quite night terrors where you're screaming in your sleep and shit. But anyone who has ever slept in the same room as me probably knows that I do. I quite often I go, I do that in my sleep all night. Emma had to get used to it over 10 years because I'm endlessly under attack and I'm endlessly having these horrible nightmares, and I'm probably in my dreams screaming and freaking out. So I have bad nightmares when I have them. So L-theanine is extremely effective. All you need to do is sleep. For me, this worked to help me fall. You take these about half an hour before you want to sleep. I took 300 milligrams of L-theanine. 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 By the way, if you guys hear something and you're like, oh, make a note of that, just click the clip button on Twitch. It's so useful. It will just make a note for you. You just make a clip of it. And that shit was fucking awesome. Like, it did help me a lot. I think it's very effective for helping me fall asleep and stay asleep. But dude, the nightmares that I had on that stuff, it wasn't the stuff that makes the nightmares happen. They're just really intense. And dreams are really intense on this stuff. Now, if I'm struggling to fall asleep one night, I would rather take L-theanine and have a very intense, maybe nightmare, than not sleep, because the effects of no sleep on me are worse than having a bad nightmare. So for me, this is still a lifesaver, and I keep it, and I recommend it if your brain happens to be exactly the same as mine. After I was done experimenting with L-theanine, that's when I got onto magnesium L-threonate. Now this is a 2,000 milligram serving. And this you only need 600 milligrams of. Magnesium, 300 to 400 milligrams is what I've gotten written down. So you don't even need that much. I don't know if magnesium L-threonate is different to just magnesium threonate or theonate. But for some reason in the UK, they come in 2,000 milligram servings, and I couldn't find a lower serving. And that was the only way I could get magnesium in pill form in the UK. You can get magnesium tea, which is very, very good as well. So I ended up taking a 2,000 milligram magnesium pill, and I had the first best night's sleep I've had all year. This shit was the goated supplement. Magnesium is now my go-to. Let me see what's in the tea. There was one night I fucked myself up because I had a cup of the tea and then I ate one of those pills. But again, you won't fucking die. If you die, I'm sorry. Don't listen to anything I'm saying, for real. Just, you should know your own shit. So I found this magnesium tea, but this shit has got passion flower in it. So when you're looking for a tea, check that they don't have passion flower. This has got 1% passion flower in it, and it's fucking killer. It also has German chamomile in it, but the magnesium content is per 100 per serving, which is 200 milliliters. It's only 56 milligrams, so it's not too bad, really. Magnesium tea, very good. I have chamomile and honey tea as well. I have this one. Chamomile, not really even a supplement. Just is my lock in. But an absolute straight up, hey, this is what I was doing. Overdosing on magnesium. And I only rely on magnesium when I'm freaking the fuck out, but not enough to justify taking a Zopiclone or something, but enough that I know, and I know, man, I know where I'm at really well now. I can tell how much I'm freaking out. So I can figure out, like, if 100% is me having a flat out psychotic mental break, anxiety, panic attack, Zopiclone. If 50% is I'm anxious but I'm not having a panic attack, magnesium. If 0% is I'm completely stable and don't need anything, I don't take anything. I have to take the mirtazapine. But most nights I think I probably rest at about 5%. I think I'm anxious probably a little bit 24/7, and that is valerian root time. So that's kind of I don't know what that means for you. But magnesium, didn't have any dreams, didn't freak out, fell asleep, felt very drowsy, fell asleep, slept through the night, stayed asleep, didn't need to piss, which was all the other shit makes you need to piss so bad. Magnesium didn't make me need to piss. So I just fell asleep half an hour after taking, and start with 300 milligrams and see where you end up. And I slept through the night and I woke up the next day on time and felt fine. And I literally, the day after taking the magnesium, I was like, nah, no way. Don't believe that at all. And I was still in a state, just in a complete mental state. So I did it again the next night, felt fine. Did it again the next night, felt fine. And then I was like, well, now I'm going to really, truly start overdosing on stuff that's too much. Too much magnesium in your body, you'll start throwing up and you'll feel worse than you've ever felt. You'll feel fatigued and all and shitty. Too much of any of this stuff. Vitamin D, I was also on vitamin D. Vitamin D is very good for low mood. I take 4,000 IU of vitamin D every day. This every day, no, this is way too much. You could, I don't think it's too bad for you. Apparently everyone is fucking magnesium deficient. It's just not in enough of the food that we eat, and everyone stopped drinking real milk. If you drink real milk, you probably get a good amount of magnesium. Drinking a cup of milk before bed isn't the worst thing. Real milk. Just real, like, fucking, I don't know whichever one, as long as it's real, skimmed, semi-skimmed or whole milk, will be good for you. Coffee and chocolate and shit, don't do that. Don't drink a hot chocolate before. My nan used to give me these fucking huge cups of hot chocolate before bed, filled with caffeine. Chocolate's got caffeine in it, don't bother with it. But for me, when I'm not freaking out, but I know I'm really struggling to fall asleep, magnesium is my now absolute go-to. I think that, and this, again, I take 2,000 milligrams. You're supposed to take like 400. But I feel fucking amazing. I will sleep and I feel much better. And usually once I've had one good night's sleep, I'm good. The last one is I went back to valerian root. Now, nitol is 385 milligrams. So I went online and found 450 milligrams, which is a thing that I found somewhere that, I don't know, Best Naturals. And it's just 450 milligrams of valerian root extract. That's all that's in it. There's nothing else in it at all, apart from whatever the capsule is made out of. This shit is my favorite. It tastes like a foot, and I'm not kidding. No, melatonin's a fucking nightmare fuel. Don't fuck with melatonin. Everyone needs to stop taking melatonin. Straight up. It's gonna fuck you up in the long term, way worse than anything else. Don't stop it. Melatonin is for autistic kids, that you have to get them asleep. Trust me, I know, because it's what my sister gives her kid. And if you're just trying to fall asleep naturally, and you're not freaking the fuck out, and you don't want long-term effects, valerian root is the key. This shit will just mellow you out and make you feel just sleepy enough and just drowsy enough to fall into a sleep, and it will keep you in that state until morning. Again, it's very weak. This is my guarantee. I fucking take this shit to just seal the deal. I already feel like I'm okay. I'm not having a panic attack. I'm not freaking out. I'm not nervous about anything. I'm not worried about tomorrow. I'm fine. I'm watching TV, and now it's time to go to bed. And I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling pretty sleepy already. It's all good. I just go, well, I could sleep and hope. I can leave it to chance that I'm going to just sleep through the night and be fine. Or I can just guarantee that I sleep a little deeper and I don't wake up a lot. That's when I take this. It is weak as fuck. You will never... You can take this every night, 450 milligrams of this every night. I think there's you can take 500 every night without it starting to fuck with your system, and maybe, your... Because then, after you take too much stuff and you don't drink enough water and shit, your fucking kidneys and liver are working too hard, and you're just not gonna... They're not going to keep up with the amount that you're putting in. So be aware of that. But this, I looked into a bunch of studies. You can take quite a lot of this and long term without any side effects. Again, you can do all this research yourself. I did it. I sat there every fucking night and I looked into it. I was like, how much can I take loads of valerian root? How long? Where are these studies? I looked up these studies, and there were studies done on valerian root where they just were like, yeah, nothing seems to happen long term. Cool, great. Because it's very natural. And your body doesn't give a fuck about it, apparently, which is very, very good. Because that's the other thing. This is the thing where I was looking for stuff like, look, I'm going to take this forever. I want this I'm going to take if I take a valerian root every single night, am I going to fuck up my kidneys in 10 years? Apparently not. So valerian root is my go-to. And I don't take it every night anymore. Like I've really, between the mirtazapine and the daylight regulation, just setting an internal body clock using the Huberman method of waking up and setting a body clock in the morning, I don't even need the valerian root anymore. I'm fine. I've gotten over my shit. I've been doing therapy and everything. I was freaking the fuck out while I was taking all this stuff. And that was when I collated all of this fucking data, and then I went, okay, that's what that does, that's what that does, and this is how it affects me. And I was in different states during that time, so who knows? But again, I have a very strong understanding of myself, and I have a lot of experience in sleep and shit like that. So I trust myself. If you trust me, great. If you don't, great. If it doesn't work for you, maybe it's your body. Maybe it was a placebo for me. Maybe our bodies work differently. Maybe your brain works differently. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just telling you how it went for me. And if that research, that stressful, I went through so much stress and so many nights. This has taken me like 4 or 5 months to figure out, of just testing this shit every week. And, you know, every now and then I've had a night where I freak out and I take a magnesium and I have the same results, where I wake up and it doesn't make me feel sleepy the next day. Beware though, passion flower child. The passion flower makes you groggy the next day. Passion flower in your system, I didn't know why I felt so groggy. And it was actually Liam that went, hey, you should check for passion flower, because passion flower was making me really groggy. And I was like, okay. And I looked on the back of that fucking thing, and I realized every night I was using the magnesium tea, I was drinking a magnesium tea, that tea 45 minutes, supplement 30 minutes, okay? The tea, the next day, groggy all day. It was when I would do these streams and I'd be in here like barely talking. That was magnesium tea day most of the time. And I'd wake up after the stream, a couple of hours after the stream, like 7 or 8 p.m. at night. And I'd feel kind of okay again, and a couple of hours later I would hit that fucking magnesium tea, and I didn't realize, and it wasn't the magnesium, it was the passion flower. And the reason I know that is because never get it with the pills ever, and there's 2,000 milligrams in that and only 56 in the tea, and it was the passion flower, of which it was what did I say, 1% of this. So strong. Passion flower is crazy. Now, if you don't give a fuck about feeling groggy, like if I'm in panic mode, I don't give a shit how groggy I am the next day. Actually, being a little groggy is nice. It kind of makes you feel kind of stoned, like you're just like, and the anxiety doesn't get to reach its upper limit because you're fucked up. You didn't give a shit. Honorary mention here for panic attack kids. Promethazine hydrochloride. Last mention, and then we're going to get on with the game, and I promise I'll never talk about this stuff again until probably about 2 days from now, when I'll probably do this all over again, because I'm obsessed with it, and I put more effort into this than anything I've fucking done in my life. Promethazine hydrochloride. I have a box of this. It's called Sominex. I got this, my auntie put me on this. Now in 2020, my cousin died, if you recall. He was 26 and he was in a motorcycle accident. And my aunt, his mum, was already predisposed to mental health problems. Anxiety, stress, depression, you name it. She has, and continues to be, absolutely drenched in sorrow, right? Just anxiety, just panic attacks, depression, just world-ending sadness that will grip her at a random moment. I spoke to her over Christmas, and me and her are the only people in the family that fucking even can come close to talking about some of this shit that I've just been talking about, and just antidepressants and all that stuff. Now, when I was freaking the fuck out last year, she sent me a pack of promethazine hydrochloride. This is... how much is in this one? 20 milligrams? 20 milligrams. The ones she sent me were 25, I think. I remember it was a little bit more. Now, this is an antihistamine. The thing that you take if you have an allergic reaction to something. But people take it as a sleeping aid. As a sleeping aid, yes, it does work. But for me, this is the panic attack counter rather than a sleeping aid. Because this shit makes you immediately 1000% grogged up. You get just your brain. It's like a drug that is able to switch your brain off. It is not a perfect counter. This isn't the perfect parry. If you're already kind of in the deep end of a panic attack, it's not really going to do much. But she sent me this and then basically only sent me the message, chef's kiss, when it comes to anxiety and promethazine hydrochloride. Now, this shit's going to fuck. If you have a job where you need to operate machinery or you need to in any way use your brain, nah. If you want to fucking turn your brain off, promethazine hydrochloride. Again, I have a 20 milligram. It's more than enough. You can probably take a bit more. I don't know. Again, you got to figure your own shit out. I am not a doctor. I am not prescribing you shit. You know your own body. If it fucks you up, don't come crying to me. Figure your shit out. Google it. Do your own research. Ask your fucking physician. You know, you might not want to be... You might have a heart condition. Your doctor's like, no. Don't fucking take that. What are you, crazy? Where did you learn this? You know, don't listen to me. Don't assume that our bodies are one-to-one the same. Don't assume that everything's going to work out for you. But again, this is just fucking an antihistamine is all it really is. When I am very anxious, but not quite in a panic attack, and those of you that have anxiety will know that difference. When you're in a panic, it's over. You just... For me, I pretty much just have to weather it out. Depending on how long it lasts. I've had panic attacks that can last 3 days, which is what I was in, and the Zopiclone was the only thing that could put me down. But when you're at that stage just before the panic attack hits, but you can feel the anxiety ramping up, and you've tried all the stuff. You've counted back from 5. You've named some objects in the room. You've walked about, you've tried your usual methods, and it's still rising. And you're about to hit that threshold. That's when I take one of these now. I write off the rest of the fucking day, by the way. That's it. I'm done. Doesn't matter what I have planned. I'm done. I'm not coming back from this until I've been to sleep. And it will zone you the fuck out, dude. It's like being stoned. It's like being high or something, but without the anxiety side of it. This is called promethazine hydrochloride. I have this is the version of it that I found online that you can buy. Is called Sominex, Sominex, promethazine hydrochloride. 25 milligrams, no, 20 milligrams, sorry, is what these tablets are. And yeah, this just makes you go, and now you are just, you'll still feel anxious, you'll still feel like shit, but you can't freak out more because you can't do anything. Someone would be like, hey, add, what's 10 plus 5? And you're like, it's 15. Like, that's where you'll be. I don't really know how to describe it. But a doctor prescribed this to my auntie for, like death, your child is dead, depression level of anxiety or whatever. And it is basically turn your brain off pills. I'm not a fan of using them regularly. You build up a resistance to them quickly. These are an emergency situation. This, Zopiclone, even magnesium for me is emergency situation. Valerian root, chamomile tea. Take some vitamin D3 for a low mood. That's what I'm doing most days now to get me fucking through. If I'm starting to freak out or if I'm very worried about something, maybe I'll do a magnesium tea or a magnesium pill. If I'm absolutely losing my fucking mind, that's when I pull out the fucking promethazine and then the zopiclone gets cracked. So, like, and that's just supplements. Again, I really think sunlight for sleeping, the best thing you can do. And again, I'm also on mirtazapine, which is an insomnia cure as well as an antidepressant, and it's very useful and effective for me. And I've been doing EMDR therapy, and I've been in therapy for a long time, and so there's many factors, and that doesn't include the fact that my brain chemistry might be different, my diagnosis might be different, my body biological makeup might be different. Who knows? I drink one Red Bull or I drink one coffee a day at about 1 p.m. in the afternoon. I fall asleep at around 2. Coffee will sit in your system for 10 to 14 hours, so don't drink it late. I turn off all the lights in the house at midnight. If I can, 10. I turn off all the lights, and I don't sit in a computer. I don't try and sit on my phone for too long. Lately I've been really bad with it. I'll be honest with you. I've been sitting on my phone on TikTok really late, but I'm feeling much better. So I'm not doing it belligerently. I now know. I learned how to ride the bike, and now I'm pulling wheelies, and it's like, yeah, I might fall off the bike, but at least I know I can get back on it. So 5 p.m. drinking coffee, nah. The coffee's in your system for 10 more hours, bro. You're gonna be up to the middle of the night. I don't think I could really. I think I could probably drink a coffee at the latest, maybe 4 p.m. something like that. And this all started because I wanted. Now I'm like fucking sitting here telling you everything I do. It's prescription only. It was kind of prescription only for me as well, Twiggy. But I did a route around on the internet, and actually I was able to order it from Ireland. So, also if you really want, I could send you some because it's not a big deal. I didn't say that online. Just hit me up. But yeah, it's a weird prescription drug that you can get. Promethazine hydrochloride. Just saying. That's all. Figure it out. Again, don't break any laws if you don't want to. Don't fuck around. Don't double dosages and blame me. Don't take some magnesium, have a heart attack, end up having a stroke, and then suing me. I don't know, man. I don't know. I am not a clinical expert. I am not a physician. I am just telling you my experiences and what has worked very well for me with this stuff. And a lot of it has been changes to my lifestyle. That's the other thing. Most people just think you can take a supplement and it will heal everything. And really, it has been a little bit of everything for me. I changed a lot of my lifestyle. I fucking shifted so much shit around. I shifted prescription meds. I've taken different supplements. I take a multivitamin and shit as well. I got all sorts of shit going on, man. I changed my diet. I eat differently. I don't eat necessarily very, very well. I think I could definitely, that wasn't one thing I got into, but I do eat differently. So really figure it out. If you're 24 years old and you're just pounding back fucking Jaeger bombs at 9, 10, 11 o'clock and then going home, this ain't for you, man. But if you're like me and you're in your mid-30s, maybe older, or maybe you're younger than that, I don't know, but you're somewhere and you're going, man, I haven't slept for 20 years. And I really have felt like I've tried a lot of different stuff. In terms of supplements, you now know what worked for me. And I really do stand by what I just said about those things. I think I did a lot of personal research on each thing. This isn't a thing. I don't think that was fully anecdotal. I really believe, because I noticed effects. I've taken theanine afterwards, and the theanine, and I've had the fucking vivid dreams and shit, and I'm like, okay, that shit's fucked. There's another one that I didn't try. I'll give you one more name and then we're going to play the game. Apigenin is another one that was recommended by Huberman that I didn't try. So if none of that shit works for you, man, I don't know. I really highly recommend, again, that link to that Huberman podcast. I'd watch that episode. I'd watch the second one. I'd try and figure out why you're not sleeping. Go to a therapist. Figure that shit out. What's keeping you up, if you can. Honestly, I don't really know what's keeping mine up. I think I'm just an anxious kid. I don't think I'm like afraid of sleep. I know why I don't stay asleep, but and then maybe try out some of that stuff, man. Try it out. Piss on me, beat me. Try it out, baby. I don't know. But for me, that's the whole scope of it. And that was my like deep dive on supplements. Pretty much everything that I just did in here, by the way, you'll hear in some of those Huberman podcasts. I didn't just invent this shit. Someone told me who knew better than me. And I went, okay, I'll try it. And I'm just giving you my version of that. A lot more colloquial, you know. I'm just giving you my, like, he will fucking tell you scientific studies and where you can find them on that stuff. So nice hat, thanks buddy. Nice face. I don't know what you look like today. I don't know what you're wearing today, but your face is probably the same. I'm a big fan of valerian root. And I really think a nice dump of fucking magnesium will help you sleep for sure. And again, anxiety kids. That's one I forgot to mention, actually. I'm sorry. Anxiety children. If any of you have ever listened to me before and I've ever been helpful for you in anything before, I completely forgot to mention how effective promethazine hydrochloride was for me over that period of time. I think because I got onto the mirtazapine and regulated my serotonin, I kind of forgot about it because I haven't needed it. But that shit is real good, man. That's a really nice way to counter the ramp up. It will do nothing for you in the well, I'm desperate for just an outright cure. I want a fucking shot that they invent, like a fucking EpiPen that counters a panic attack. How sick would that be, man? That's what I need. When you're in a panic attack, for me, it's worse than the most. It's honestly the worst feeling I've ever felt. A really bad one, like the 2 or 3 world enders that I've had, panic attacks. I can name.
I feel quite hungry.
Maybe 3 times in my life where I've really hit that point. And like some others that maybe come close. I mean, last year alone, I can name 3 that came close to the world enders that were just like, might as well be the same thing. It's the worst feeling ever. It's the worst feeling ever. I think it's so much worse than I've been in physical pain. I've been in depressive, emotional, like sadness pain. I've been like one of the worst pains I've ever had. I've like really wounded myself at times. I told you about when I broke my ribs and shit. I've like stabbed myself and shit by accident, and you fucking have a horrible cut for days, burns and shit like that. Tooth pain. I had an abscess under a fucking wisdom tooth once. Just so like, because it's long torture. You do not stop feeling like shit, and it's every second, and it's in your face. You know, when your arm hurts, it's like, oh, it's annoying, and when your back hurts and you move and you go, oh, yep, that sucks. It's one thing, but when it's in your face, constantly, just a constant throbbing pain. Wow, I honestly believe that abscess I had in my tooth, the few days that I had that, because it was really only a few days, but every second of it was beyond nightmarish. One of the worst experiences ever, and it doesn't come close to the panic attacks. It doesn't come close, dude. Doesn't come close to the panic attacks, because it feels like your mind is splitting in 2. It feels like your actual sanity is being fucking cracked open, and it will never repair, you know? And you think you're going insane, and you kind of are, I guess, but you think you're going like Hollywood insane, which isn't real, and you're going to end up like that fucking guy that was in that video shouting at people in the alleyway. You think, this is it. Tomorrow I'm going to be in an alleyway in a coat that doesn't fit me, holding a carrier bag filled with dirt, shouting at people on the street. because this is my mind letting go right now. That's the worst feeling. Anyway, I would love it if when you're in a panic attack or an anxiety attack, if there was an EpiPen. You know what I mean? You just go fucking boom, and you go, oh fucking hell, almost fucking died. Anyway, I'll probably go out later and I've got to get some shopping in. Where is my bank card anyway? I don't know what I did with it. Instead of having to go through the thing and you're just like, here we go. Just have to weather it out. Just the worst thing. I hate this. Laying fucking naked on a cold floor. That's one of mine, dude. I get fucking, I'm like, I have to get cold. And I fucking take everything off. And I lay on the bathroom floor. Just face down. You're just doing crazy shit because it's just horrible. You're crying. It makes me suicidal, and I'm not kidding. Like, I know I make jokes about it a lot, but it makes me like, this has to end. I have to end this right now, and there's only one way I can do it, because there is no EpiPen. Legitimately, I will die from a panic attack because it will cause me to fucking, you know what I mean? Anyway. Moving on. I know that was a really long... I'm so sorry, everybody who isn't interested in anything like that, or you've heard me say it before. I'm sure that there's a lot of people that are very interested in it. And I hope it helps in some way, because for me, it was life-saving, and I'm not kidding. Some of that shit I just said sounds so boring and shitty, and like I'm just an old man going, the pill that I take on a Wednesday, that's to stop me from chopping off my own fingers. And then the pills, I take 2 of these on a Thursday, 1 at lunchtime and 1 just before I go to bed. And that's to stop me from going blind with rage. And then on a Friday... And it's like, you're like, shut up, you know? Anyone who's like fucking 22 in here is like, what the fuck is this guy on about? Shut up, dude. Play the fucking game. Kill something in the game. Get the fucking bow and arrow out. I get it. I do. I seriously get it. But you guys are all, you'll come round to this, or you can just do something else. Go on TikTok. Someone in here maybe will take some magnesium tomorrow night, and their world will change. Their world goes from like... And I'd give up forever to touch you to, oh, there's hope? Wait, this works? It's fucking crazy. If it takes the edge off, you know, for some people, so worth it, man. So worth it. And I'm sorry if anyone was listening to that and they're just so bored. I get it. I wish the game held my attention more, because we get into these conversations, because I fucking take these long trips on the horse and I get into a conversation, because we were just talking about, all I wanted was something that helps me wake up a little bit at night without fucking with that sleep thing. And we get into this whole thing here. And I understand it can be very boring. And obviously I've also been talking about this stuff a lot on the stream because I've been so into it. And I'm sorry if it's just really, really boring, but yeah, man, some people really get it, dude. Some people fucking get it. Yeah, man, I did a lot of experimentation last year, and I just want to let you know I feel fucking good now. This isn't like just me chucking shit at a wall. I figured this shit out, man. For me. Again, don't know if it works for you, but I honestly feel I'm like, oh, I solved the 20-year murder case. And, you know, I don't say shit like that, so. You can trust and believe in nothing. If nothing else, trust and believe that the version of me that was fucking just on death's door last year is sitting in front of you now being like, hey, guy, I feel fucking good. And it was a lot of different changes, but... some of this shit all contributed to an ultimate betterment of my life in a long-term way. So maybe some of that shit in maybe different variations of the puzzle might work for you. If it does, great. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. You know, so you're gonna have to figure out your own shit. Just magnesium supplements? No. You missed the whole thing, Lollipop. I can't go back and do it all again. It was about a fucking hour, and I'm absolutely sure that 7 people in here took their own lives because they were so fucking bored listening to it, and I'm sorry. I'll try and play the game now.
I'm looking for some people you might know something about.
I'm sorry.
Come here to drink.
I get it, man.
Maybe.
Wild
But I
RP,
won't
you know what I
aid in
mean?
Any mischief.
Me talking about Wild RP on the fucking stream. My version, dude. My version of PB's Wild RP story. Given the Brad that I got to know late last year, the fact you're feeling good is insane. Exactly, yeah. But I mean, we met while I was in one of the worst places I've been in a long time, which is just like, it really wasn't like a good barometer for me in general anyway. But we spoke about that, didn't we? I'm looking for the crimps. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay, so in the game we're actually looking for crimps.
I've heard some rough men come here looking to recruit.
Ooh.
Have they ever stopped in to eat or drink?
Like
Or
that.
to arrange something?
We're some brawlers that used to fight behind the tavern.
Get me all
But
interested.
they raised such a commotion. I went and complained, and the town watch drove them off somewhere.
I wasn't thinking about that lot. I'm looking for recruiters that hire mercenaries and other cutthroats.
Don't know about that. Every once in a while, a merchant will hire some help or an escort, but nothing more. Nobody comes here regular. I'd notice if they did.
Mm-hmm.
Do you happen to know where the brawlers you complained about moved on to?
I've not got the slightest inkling. I'm just glad all the shouting stopped. It scared the horses in the stables.
And what about
You
any
haven't heard
ruffians
talk of
in town?
Any scoundrels in town?
Well, I have heard some things, but I can't say if they're true or not. There's some that talk just to hear the sound of their own voices.
And who's the most frequent topic of that kind of gossip?
Miller Simon.
Hey.
They say he's rich with coin, and it's not from the mill. But that's nonsense. Folk just don't know how much a mill can earn.
Anyone else?
Aye, there's talk of the knacker giving people the evil eye, or them that's not in bailiff's good graces. But I don't suppose that's what you want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, innkeeper.
Not at all. Would
Just
you
get
like
me
something
more
eat?
people to have to go
Or
and speak
drink?
to. No, I'm out, boy. See ya. By the way,
Good luck to you.
I'm not paying for food from you. You give it out free. I just eat from this pot every morning, you idiot. You don't realise that by now? You fucking dickhead. Stupid fucking dickhead. Imagine just killing him. Sorry. Intrusive thoughts. See, I'm not fully healed. I'm not fully healed. I just bought some magnesium supplements after not taking them for a few months and feeling not great. Yeah, I noticed that when I stopped taking vitamin D. I didn't take vitamin D for like a week, and I was like, wow, I feel not good. Started taking it again. Wow, okay, cool. And then I just started taking these fucking multivitamins. I got some Weight Well multivitamins. Got everything in it, man. All of them. Just take that all the time now. I think also it's just like for everyone just getting old. Like I started all this shit because I hit rock fucking bottom. I was about to fucking hang myself from the door frame, and I was like, well, let's figure it out. But I think probably I should have been doing it just because it's kind of hard to admit to yourself that you're getting older and that you just need that shit. When you're young, man, you're like invincible as fuck, dude. The shit I used to do. And you just wake up the next day and go, well, and you shrug it off and you're good. You're brand new. Now I fucking, dude, I'll be like, well, I didn't take my vitamin D. And then there's just fucking the thing from Indiana Jones where they melt and you're dying and you're dead. You just have to, but it's hard to admit to yourself that you're older and that you need that stuff because you don't know you're getting older. It's hard to admit it as well. It's hard to just accept that you're older. Like, look at everyone. That guy on TikTok that everyone is always taking the piss out of, Paul, is that his name? You know, just can't accept that he's an old man now, still acting like he's a teenager, still acting like he can go to clubs, still acting like he's, you know, in the same league as these like 21-year-old girls or younger. You just have to accept it, man. You're like, no, I'm old now, that's what I am. But you don't know it, dude. You didn't know. You didn't know you got old. You're still just you in your head, living your life, doing your daily thing. And then your body catches up with you. So I feel like that's the other thing. That's the baker, not the miller. The miller, is he outside of town like our miller? He's talking about not our miller, a miller, isn't it? Who's the miller? Oh, he is talking about a random miller. This fucking guy is miles away. I guess we can do that. It's right here, just to the left here. Yeah, man, and I think that that's a thing that I need to figure out. I mean, I know that 30, some of you in here are a lot older than I am, and you're laughing at me saying this stuff, and you've figured your shit out, and that's all good, baby, and it's, and some of you in here are younger than me, and you're just kind of like, haha, you're old, and it's disgusting, look at you, decrepit, haggard old freak. But I think once you hit your 30s, it's when you really start to feel a bit old. You start to really have that understanding. You reach over and pull your entire back muscle, and you're like, cool, well, I'm paraplegic. Because I reached an inch too far to try and plug my fucking phone into something. And I think one of those things is your body just isn't running as efficiently. And obviously you can be doing, some people's bodies are probably running beautifully. You guys are probably in the gym every day, eating well, got all your vitamins, you know what you're doing, but not me. And if anyone is anything like, most of us are in here watching Twitch, which means you probably play video games and don't really want to go outside and you don't care anymore. I did my fucking time outside. I'm good. And I'm not really taking care of myself necessarily. I'm not completely out of touch, but I'm like, you know. And I think we just don't realize that your body needs a little, just a fucking supplement is all it needs. And you just don't know it, man. You just don't know it because you think, I still think I'm 16 until I check myself. You know? I'm like, people are like, how old are you? I'm like, yeah, I'm 16. I finish sixth form next year. And then I go, no, I have dreams where I have nightmares where I lose my sixth form schedule and don't know which classroom I need to go to. And I don't I'm like, oh, I'm panicking because I guess I used to fucking be anxious about it. And I get these like anxiety dreams where I'm like, fuck, which classroom do I go to? I'm going to be late. This is like, I don't have my schedule or whatever it was fucking called, the timetable thing. And then I wake up and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? It was 20 years ago. It's fucking weird, man. You don't, it's not like you just wake up one day and you're like, well, I'm in a suit and tie. I guess I'm old now. You know, you go to bed in a hoodie and wake up in a suit and tie and you've leveled up and you put points into being an adult on your skill tree. You just don't notice it. Time going by, and you're aware of how old you are really and shit like that. But yeah, man, you don't assume your body will ever not be like it is when you're in your teens or your 20s, and you start to notice that wear down. And I think probably that's what the multivitamins are just all I need now. In your 30s, you just need some multivitamins. Maybe do a little more exercise. Maybe be cautious. Those of you that are in your 40s, maybe you've got some lessons for me when I get there. And maybe those of you that are in your 50s are laughing at the people in their 40s and how easy it is for them to interface and maneuver around the world. You know, we still look like teenagers to people in our 50s, those of us that are in our 30s. I mean, 40 is looming over me, really. I'm lucky in that I look fucking gorgeous and young and beautiful and that I can shave. But really, I am fucking closer to 40 than anything else. And I think that, yeah, you just sort of don't, you take it for granted, really you do take it for granted, and you're like, well, I don't need multivitamins, I've always been very healthy, naturally. You do need them, because you're 36, and you don't even know that you're 36, because you just don't know anything, because you're just living your life. Insane shit. Even younger people should do this shit, investing, yeah, but not convincing anyone to do anything when they're young is impossible. I think, you know, it's like I was saying, you need to sort of suffer to learn a little bit. You couldn't tell me to do any of that shit when I was younger. If Biz Cotto had come, fuck it, if I had showed up and been like, it's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me. If I had showed up and been like, you, listen, right, just trust me, because I'm you from the future, just shut the fuck up and listen to me a second here. Take some multivitamins and get your shit together. I would have gone, shut the fuck up, bro, and probably beat the shit out of me now.
There's plenty of coin in it.
What? In the shrine? Don't fucking take money from the shrine, you madman. Yeah, it's weird, man. You dream you're still in school? I don't know, man. I just have lots of anxiety dreams about stuff like that sometimes. But it's like I said the other day, I still smoke in my dreams. I woke up the other day and was like, I realized that I'm a smoker in my dreams still. That's fucking crazy. That's so weird. I'm just a casual, I go through whatever my dream is, except it's like going through my day I had today, but I'm a smoker in my dreams. That's how fucking addicted, that's how much I fucking smoke. I smoked from 13 to 26-ish, something like that. And my brain, 10 years later, still thinks I smoke in my dreams. Because it's fucking weird. Also, what the fuck are dreams even? No one knows, so... Yeah, I have a lot of dreams where I'm very young in them sometimes. But I also get chased by the fucking horse that used to fucking chase me when I was a toddler.
Good day to you. What do you
Good
need?
day to you. Indian for a moment there.
Listen, have you heard about anyone looking to recruit men around here? Or planning some kind of mischief?
No.
Come on. I know how it is with millers. I've been friends with a few and they hear all the gossip.
So go ask them.
I doubt their ears reach all the way here.
Then it seems you're out of luck.
Surely we can come to some arrangement.
I don't much care for strangers.
So, what do I have to do to get in?
What's wrong with the millers? Why are all the millers
Well,
dodgy
if I heard
geezers?
from those Miller friends of yours that you can be relied upon, and you're
Ooh,
not
dodgy
a complete
boys.
dolt.
Oh.
Is there any work here for carpenters?
Are they locals?
From Skallets.
Then no. I only take in people I know.
Then you will die. His head flies through the air. And his head goes and lands in that bucket. How much do you just want to be able to do stuff like that in games? Activate Raiden mode. Rules of nature. So he didn't tell me shit. Great, cool. The Sasau Knacker. Oh, you're looking knackered, you are, son. Knackered! You look like an old sock. All the way back in town, okay. What the fuck is a knacker? Be very careful, Bradley. Very easy! Also, Droogie, yes. It's weird. I didn't realize I ever had anxiety my whole life until I understood how to calculate what that anxiety was in my brain. And then I looked back over several points in my childhood and my early teens, my late teens, and my early 20s. And then I was like, oh, those were panic attacks. I just thought that was normal. I don't know, man. I remember points where I was walking around like Rayman. Couldn't feel my fucking... what was connecting my legs to my feet. I was just floating forward. Absolutely out of my mind or in an anxiety state. And I just thought... It was... maybe that's the weed. I don't know, man. Maybe it was. But like, dude, I was fucking floating around, man. Completely dissociative state for years. No idea. And then later on, because I learned in my body how to quantify it and calculate it, I look back and I'm like, oh, dude, I've been fucked up my whole life. No one knows, man. No one knows. Bam, 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 bam. Gotta be annoying now because I've been serious for an hour. If you think I'm healed, by the way, and that I'm a grown-up and that I've really like I'm zen and I've reached a personal nirvana, just check that out. I have to be annoying now because I've been serious for an hour. I can't just be okay and feel comfortable in that I was serious for a little while. I, for some reason, have to follow it up by I can feel it building up in me, doing Raiden impressions and going, we get these pills to swallow. How they stick in your throat. Tastes like feet, valerian. By the way, those of you that just bought valerian root, no, I swear by it, but tastes like feet. Orcish, Brad, I hate this game. Also, Brad, let's play this game every day and ride slowly from quest to quest like I'm on an RP server. I was talking about this yesterday, so you're out of the loop. Embarrassing for you that we've already discussed this. And you're outside of it, and it's really awkward because you've come into the conversation. You don't realize that everyone's already spoken about this thing, and you're like, oh yeah, so look at him writing it. And everyone's like, yeah, we sort of already made that joke. So embarrassing for you. Try not to overthink that, but it is awkward, and we all feel like it's really awkward for you right now. But I haven't said I hated the game. Thank you very much. At the moment, I think the game is boring. And I think that the combat is horrible. So in any attempt in the game to not be boring in a traditional sense is awful because it's so horrible to have the boring moments punctuated by the most difficult, frustrating combat you've ever experienced. But what I do like about it is this part, man. Look how cool this looks. I love Wonder. I wish I played Red Dead. We should have played Red Dead instead of this. Just riding around on this horse and talking to chat is the best thing about this game. It's how we've got into so many conversations. These conversations lately have been really in-depth, and I'm so sorry if they're really boring for you and you really want me to play the game. I truly am. But this is the best bit about it. Trotting along at the slowest possible pace and just having a fucking chin wag is my favorite thing about the game. I kind of like it. It's like doing a Just Chatting stream, but I'm on a horse. So weird. You should do an evil... My character was like not really evil. My Arthur was... I was good in the quests, and then I'd walk away, and he had a split personality called Dr. Yeet, where he would murder people. So in the actual game quests, he was light side. Would you say you're the right person? You're the right... Wait, what does that say? You're on the right path handling a midlife crisis. I think I had my midlife crisis. I think that's what happened to me last year. I think I had it early. I think possibly I had a midlife crisis when I was 14. I'm not really sure what a midlife crisis is yet, and I don't want to speak to it until I'm maybe like 60 or something, so I can really know that I went through it. And it was a midlife crisis, and not just that everyone hits a point in their life where something capsizes their life as they know it, and it causes them to have to go through some version of a suffering, maybe, and then some self-reflective stuff that causes you to change and maybe evolve, maybe devolve, who knows. But if that's all it is, I've suffered probably 3 of those in my life. Just definitive points that have caused me to completely transform, or at least figure something out in such a way that it was transformative. One very early in life, one when I had to kick drugs and change my life when I was 23, 24, and I think this year as well. I've had some other moments, and we all just change and grow with every year and every month and everything that we go through. But I think really definitive transformations, you kind of know, right? You know when you've really been through it. Unless you haven't. I think some people think they've been through shit, and then they're like, yeah, this one time I like fell over. And you're like, oh, uh-oh. You're still 6. I don't know if it necessarily has to be traumatic, but I do think that that really probably is one of the only ways that you can bring forth that sort of need for transformation. Because it really, for me, I hit this bedrock mentally last year that I've never really, I don't think I've ever hit before, because I don't think I was old enough to understand what really hitting that bedrock felt like. Before, it was just a sort of confused amalgam of pain. But last year I had it with context. I had a lot to lose, and I understood what life was better. And something in my brain hit a legitimate bedrock where I hit what felt like a mental rock bottom. And I don't think I've necessarily even had the scope or context to understand that until now. And like we said the other day, it wasn't like there was more I could technically lose, but I don't think that the outcome would have been different for me mentally. I don't think quantifying it through actual things and people that you might lose in life, or stuff, or money, or jobs, I don't think that matters. It's how you perceive it and how you feel going through something. Somebody who has been brought up very well with good parents and a strong foundation may go through one of the most fucking life-alteringly awful things ever, and they can handle it better. They're better equipped to deal with that sort of trauma, and so that they process it correctly and they go through it. And somebody who hasn't got that foundation in place, maybe didn't have good parents or didn't have a good upbringing or something like that, isn't mentally equipped as well, and something that might not feel like, you know, like your entire family is slaughtered, you know, in a fucking bandit raid. The other guy, his whole family gets killed in a fucking bandit raid and they're all slaughtered, and he just deals with it because his life, the way he's able to deal with stuff, he's better equipped to deal with something like that. And then the guy too, his family isn't slaughtered, he just loses his job. Nowhere near as bad quantifiably, but the way he isn't equipped to deal with it means that it feels so much worse, because he doesn't know how to process that trauma and doesn't have the tools to deal with it, and doesn't, and it becomes something awful. So I truly believe